If you've ever found yourself raising your voice or sending your child to timeout, only to feel sad or frustrated afterward, you are not alone. Many parents reach a point where they use punishments because it feels like the only option to stop difficult behavior. In those moments, it's normal to wonder if you're doing the right thing, especially when all you want is for your child to listen and for the house to feel peaceful again. But sometimes, after the punishment is over, you might notice your child seems distant or upset. You might even feel a little disconnected from them, wishing things had gone differently. These tough moments can quietly create a gap between you and your child, making both of you feel misunderstood. It's hard when the discipline you hoped would teach or fix things instead leaves both you and your little one hurting. This doesn't make you a bad parent, it just means you care deeply about your relationship and you want something better. There's a different way to guide your child that doesn't rely on punishment. It's called positive discipline. Positive discipline is about teaching, not punishing. It's based on respect and connection, helping your child learn what is expected without making them feel afraid or ashamed. The idea is to focus less on control and more on guiding your child through their feelings and choices, so they can slowly learn self-control over time. When you use positive discipline, you try to see the world through your child's eyes. You remember that small children are still figuring out how to manage big emotions and follow rules. By staying calm and connected, you show your child that they are safe and loved, even when they make mistakes. This approach builds trust and helps your child learn important skills for life, like solving problems, expressing feelings in healthy ways, and thinking about what comes next. When a child is punished, their first reaction is often fear, anger, or confusion. They might feel hurt or even embarrassed. Instead of understanding what they did wrong and how to do better next time, their energy goes into protecting themselves or avoiding getting in trouble again. This means they are less likely to hear your words or learn the lesson you're hoping to teach. Their brains can get stuck in fight, flight, or freeze mode, which blocks curiosity and problem solving. Over time, if children are punished a lot, it can lead to resentment. They may start to resist your instructions or even become sneaky to avoid being caught. Sometimes, they feel that love is taken away when they make mistakes. This can damage trust between you and your child and make it harder for them to come to you with their problems. Instead of focusing on learning from their choices, they focus on the punishment itself, and this gets in the way of real growth. When children are punished, especially with harsh words or isolation, their brains can feel threatened and overwhelmed. Science shows that a child's brain is still growing and is very sensitive to stress. When a child feels scared or shamed, their brain focuses on staying safe, not on understanding or learning. In these moments, they have trouble thinking clearly or remembering what you hoped to teach them. This emotional stress can make it harder for them to control their own behavior in the future. Repeated punishment can also affect how safe your child feels with you. When their brain connects being in trouble with losing your closeness or comfort, it can create anxiety or sadness. Over time, children may hide their feelings to avoid getting punished, which keeps them from learning how to talk about their mistakes or ask for help. For healthy emotional development, children need to feel secure, even when they make a poor choice. This safety helps the brain stay open and ready to learn from guidance, not fear. One gentle and effective tool you can use is offering your child simple choices. Instead of giving a command like, "Put your toys away now," you might say, "Would you like to pick up the blocks first or the cars?" Giving a child choices helps them feel respected and in control, while still keeping clear boundaries. It turns your request into a shared moment, not a battle. Your child is more likely to cooperate because they feel involved in the solution instead of just being told what to do. Choices work best when you offer two options that are both okay with you. For example, would you like to brush your teeth before putting on pajamas? Or after? This doesn't mean letting your child do whatever they want. It means guiding them within safe limits. When children are included in decision-making, they practice thinking for themselves and following through. This simple shift can turn power struggles into chances for independence, even at a young age. It's a small change, but it can make your days together feel more peaceful and help your child feel confident and valued. Before you try to correct a behavior, It helps to pause and notice how your child is feeling. Young children often act out because they're overwhelmed by big emotions, like frustration, sadness, or anger. When you first acknowledge a child's feelings, it tells them you see and care about what they're experiencing. You can say things like, "I see you're upset," or "It's hard when you can't have what you want." This simple act of validation doesn't mean you are agreeing with their behavior, but it helps calm their emotions and builds trust. Validating feelings creates a safe space for your child to express themselves, even when they make mistakes. When children feel understood, their brains shift from feeling threatened to feeling connected. This calmness is what makes it possible for them to learn and listen. Once your child feels heard, they're often more willing to talk about what happened or try a new way next time. It's a small pause, but it can turn a tense moment into a chance for closeness and growth. Another helpful way to guide your child is by using open-ended questions. Instead of asking questions that only need a yes or no, try questions that start with words like how, what, or why. For example, you could ask, "What made you feel upset?" Or, "How do you think we can solve this problem?" These types of questions invite your child to share their thoughts and feelings, which helps them understand themselves better and lets you see the world through their eyes. Open-ended questions also encourage your child to think and problem solve. They show your child that their opinions matter and that you're interested in what they have to say. This kind of gentle conversation teaches your child to reflect on their actions and consider other ways of handling tough moments. Over time, using these questions helps your child feel valued and included, making it easier for both of you to work together when challenges come up. Let's imagine your child draws on the wall with crayons. It's easy to feel upset and want to give a quick punishment, like sending them to their room. But instead, you can try a different approach. First, take a deep breath and get down to your child's level. Let them know you see how much fun they're having, saying something like, "Wow, you really enjoyed drawing." This shows you care about their feelings. Then, gently remind them about the rule, crayons are for paper, not for walls. Next, invite your child into a calm conversation. You might ask, "What can we do to clean the wall together?" Or, "Where would you like to draw next time?" This turns a mistake into a learning moment. Your child gets to help solve the problem and feels supported, not shamed. This simple, caring talk shows your child that it's safe to come to you, even when things go wrong, and helps them learn responsibility in a way that builds trust, not fear. Building new habits with your child takes time, and it's normal if some days feel harder than others. Children learn by seeing the same calm, caring guidance again and again. When you respond with patience and use these gentle tools, like offering choices or having open conversations, you're planting seeds, even if you don't see results right away. Consistency helps your child know what to expect and feel safe in the routine. It's okay to make mistakes or feel frustrated. What matters is that you keep coming back to a caring approach. Remember, patience is key for both of you. Some days your child might cooperate easily, and other days it might feel like nothing is working. This doesn't mean you or your child are failing. It simply means that learning takes practice. Just like anything new, trust that even small steps forward matter. Over time, your steady patience and kindness will help your child learn self-control, responsibility, and how to talk about difficult feelings. Your calm presence, even on tough days, teaches your child so much about love and respect. When you choose gentle discipline, you are building something powerful with your child, a sense of trust that lasts. Over time, your child learns they can come to you with their worries, mistakes, or questions, knowing they won't be shamed or rejected. This strong, safe bond helps your child feel secure, which is the foundation for emotional health and healthy relationships later in life. They learn that love is not taken away just because they make a mistake, and this builds their confidence to try new things, even when they're hard. The benefits of this approach go far beyond just fewer battles during the day. As your child grows, they are more likely to listen, cooperate, and try to make amends when things go wrong. They practice kindness, problem-solving, and empathy, skills that help them in friendships, school, and someday in their own families. By showing respect in your words and actions now, you help your child develop respect for themselves and for others. This gentle guidance creates a relationship built on trust, not fear, a gift that will serve both of you for years to come. As you start using these gentle tools, watch for small changes in your child's responses. These shifts may be quiet at first, a little more eye contact, a quicker sorry, or a softer response to a gentle reminder. Progress can take time, and it's easy to overlook these signs when routines are busy or emotions run high. But every small moment where your child feels heard and chooses cooperation over conflict is worth noticing and celebrating. These tiny steps add up. Even if things don't change overnight, it's helpful to remind yourself that growth is a slow and steady process, not a fast fix. Your child is learning, day by day, how to express their feelings, solve problems, and trust in your support. You're growing too, as you practice patience and compassion. Together, you'll find that these moments of connection become more frequent. Watching for these positive changes, not perfection, will help you stay encouraged and keep moving forward on this path. Celebrate your progress and remember that you're both doing something wonderful, one gentle step at a time. Positive discipline isn't about getting everything right all the time. It's not about being the perfect parent or having a perfectly behaved child. Instead, it's about building a loving and respectful relationship where both you and your child can learn and grow together. There will still be hard days and moments when things don't go as planned. What matters is choosing connection over control whenever you can, and being kind to yourself during the ups and downs. Your patience, your willingness to try new approaches, and your gentle words all make a difference. Each time you choose understanding instead of punishment, you show your child what real love and respect look like. This path might feel slow or messy at times, but it builds a stronger foundation for your family. Thank you for showing up and caring so deeply. If this video gave you even a small sense of hope or calm, remember to subscribe and return anytime you need encouragement. You are not alone on this journey.